When it comes to Romhacks, there's one type of Romhack more popular than any other. Pokemon Romhacks are by far the most downloaded hacks out there, and it's easy to see why. From new Pokemon, new worlds to explore, to changed mechanics, there's a lot you can modify in these games, and that's why we're looking at a couple of them right now. Like now. Right now. Okay. We can go to them now. Pokemon Fool's Gold really only changes one thing, but it makes for a completely different experience. It takes Pokemon Crystal and swaps around all the Pokemon typings with new designs to match. So Bellsprout goes from being a grass poison type to a steel type with a tank theme, complete with wheels and projectile related attacks. Poliwag is a ground type made of mud, and Skarmory becomes whatever this is. It's really fun getting to know all the classic Pokemon all over again. And there's a consistency to it too. The starters are still strong and weak to each other, with Cyndaquil having icicles instead of flames, Totodile being flying type with a pilot's cap, it's a pretty weak connection, and the fighting type Chikorita having a nunchuck on its head instead of a leaf. All the evolutions stick to the themes too, so your fighting flying type Pidgey with really big arms will evolve into a fighting flying type Pidgeotto with even bigger arms. Even though the story and locales are virtually unchanged, just the redesigned Pokemon is honestly enough to give you a reason to play through this game again. It's super fun finding out what's different in this weird, almost parallel universe, and the Pokemon tend to be found in the same areas they were in the original game. It's a fun concept, and the high quality new artwork really helps sell it. Pokemon Snakewood adds a grim twist. A hack of Pokemon Ruby, you start in Little Root Town as usual and have to explore the land of Hoenn again. But this time, after a zombie apocalypse. Almost everything has been changed here, from modified maps, new cutscenes, even a few new Pokemon thrown in here and there. I really love how desolate everything in this hack feels. Almost all the towns have been reduced to rubble, and most of the time you'll be healing from a medical bag, not a Poké Center. Of course, the biggest change here is everything and everywhere is now infested with zombies. At first they seem like normal trainers, but they only hold zombie Pokemon, which are normal Pokemon you'd find in the original game, but dead, with boosted stats and funny names. These range from little more than simple color edits to vomit-inducing freaks of nature. The sheer amount of zombies here is overwhelming, and you'll almost never find a regular person, and whenever you do find someone alive, they usually won't be for very long. Even though Pokemon Snakewood is kind of on the depressing side really, it also has an amazing sense of humor. From off-the-wall dialogue to being able to loot the dead bodies of townspeople. But by far the best joke is when the egg given to you at the beginning of the game finally hatches and it's just an egg. Yep, that's the Pokemon, an egg. It's got moves and everything. Pokemon Snakewood isn't a Pokemon game with the usual kid-friendly feel, but if you want to see something Game Freak would never greenlight, this game is for you. Pokemon AshGray takes Pokemon Fire Red and models it after the first season of the anime. So instead of Red, you'll play as Ash, and you and Pikachu will go on the original Pokemon adventure as it was told in the show. So really, this is a game based off a show that was based off the game. Don't think about it too much. The game mirrors the anime pretty closely, with frequent events depicting several episodes from Ash's adventure. You'll see Ho-Oh, encounter the Squirtle Squad, even experience parts of the first movie. Of course, there's a lot of new stuff added here. Characters like Officer Jenny and Jesse and James are added in, along with a lot of new sprites, like the Poké Centers being updated to match how they were designed in the show. But if something wasn't laid out specifically in the TV series, AshGray falls back on Fire Red to fill in the blanks. So general map layouts for most of the towns stay the same. AshGray strikes a perfect balance here between following the show and letting you make your own choices. You can still catch any Pokemon you want, but, I mean, are you really gonna go catch Spearow or something? Come on, you're Ash. You better start acting like it. That means never planning things ahead. Yeah, fight Brock with just Pikachu. It will all work out in the end. Pokemon Light Platinum takes Pokemon Ruby and transforms it inside out to the point where it's almost unrecognizable. With a new region and new story, everything feels fresh here. The game isn't afraid to immediately throw you into the action. You'll go from seeing a vision of Arceus to flying on a Salamence with the champion to destroying relics with the region's professor in the first 5 minutes of the game. But the off-the-walls new storyline isn't the only thing different here. The art style has been completely redesigned with a mix of new and updated sprites that more closely mirror the DS games. And the inclusion of some newer Pokemon along with impressive new themes and locales really helps sell that this is a completely different place. The cutscenes are also extremely elaborate, from watching Feebas swimming in formation to rescuing a drowning Pichu. If you want a new Pokemon adventure with no surprise mechanics or gimmicks, this one's for you. Pokémon Prism is by far one of the most popular Pokémon ROM hacks, and it's easy to see why. Over 9 years in the making, Prism takes Pokémon Crystal and adds new mechanics, from a character creator to being able to play as your own Pokémon in sections of the game. The new region is also a joy to play through, with colorful new routes and a soundtrack containing remixes of music from later Pokémon titles, along with just new songs altogether. Although only 251 Pokémon are available, they've been swapped around quite a bit, with plenty of Gen 3 and Gen 4 Pokemon making appearances. And they look great here, with clean sprites and intro animations that are just as smooth as the ones in the host game. There's just so much new stuff here, from new gym leaders, mini-games, even side-scrolling sections that look like they're out of Link's Awakening. Pokemon Prism is fairly new, and honestly feels like the culmination of so many great Pokemon ROM hacks from the past. Even if you don't usually play the older original Game Boy ROM hacks, give this one a try.